king is born. I told you before, a king is born. Now I told you before, a king is born. Oh yeah. Oh no, 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 no. Like a beast in the jungle, in the heat of the rumble, I ain't got nothing to lose. Hey, I've been fighting these hard times in the ghettos of my mind. Now it's victory that I choose. Hey, yes, my soul is blessed, the king is born. Mama, I confess I'm a bad, bad man. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend. 'Cause I've been down so long that my crown and throne is destined. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend, legend. Like a bull in a glass house, no bull about to smash out. Can't nothing stand in my way. I don't care what the place is, from the penthouse to pavement. You better hear what I say. Hey, yeah. Yes, my soul is blessed, the king is born. Mama, I confess I'm a bad, bad man. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend. 'Cause I've been down so long that my crown and throne is destined. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend, legend. King born. Yeah, I told you before. Yeah, a king is born. Been broke before, but I've never been broken. I told you before. I am the truth now, the truth has spoken. A king is born. Oh yeah, a king is born. Yeah. Oh yeah, ain't no one like me. I'm a legend. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend. 'Cause I've been down so long that my crown and throne is destined. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend, legend. He is born.
Breakfast at Tiffany's and bottles of bubbles. Girls with tattoos who like getting in trouble. Lashes and diamonds, ATM machines. Buy myself all of my favorite things. Been through some bad shit, I should be a savage. Who would've thought it turned me to a savage? Rather be tied up with calls and not strings. Write my own checks like I write what I sing. Yeah, stop watching my neck. Make big deposits, my gloss is popping. You like my hair? Gee, thanks, just bought it. I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. Yeah, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it. Yeah. You like my hair? Gee, thanks, just bought it. I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. Yeah. Wearing no ring, but ain't gon' be no misses. But matching diamonds for 6 of my bitches. I'd rather spoil all my friends with my riches. like phone numbers. If it ain't money, then wrong number. Black card is my business card. The way it be setting the tone for me. I don't be to brag, but I be like, put it in the bag, yeah. When you see the max, they stacked up like my ass, yeah. Shoot, go from the south to the booth. Make it all back in one loop. Give me the loot. Never mind, I got the juice. Nothing but never we shoot. Look at my neck, look at my debt. Ain't got enough money to pay me respect. Ain't no budget when I'm on the set. If I like it, then that's what I get, yeah. I want it, I got it. 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 You like my hair? She thinks, just bought it. I see it, I like it. I want it, I got it, yeah.
Hello, and welcome to today's show, everybody.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. I feel commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's show. And guess what? This is our 8th show. Yes, we're nearly in double numbers. Okay, we're nearly there. We're on the verge of double numbers. 2 more shows, 2 more Mondays, and we are on double numbers. So I'm pretty happy with that. Concluding this Monday. So I guess one more Monday, and we're on we're on double numbers, which is not doing too bad. Unfortunately for today's show, we won't be live on the website. This will be put up on YouTube, and so you'll be hearing me from there. So hello YouTube, you can actually leave a comment this time, and we'll see it. So fantastic stuff there. But yeah, this is our 8th episode in a row, and yeah, no, it's been fantastic. I've been loving the vibes over here, and the community, I think, overall has just been fantastic. But as usual, we won't delay you too long. Do make sure, if you haven't already, make sure check out Mradio on all the social medias, and Twitter and Instagram at the Only Mradio, and YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. And if you haven't already, make sure to join our Discord. Either way, we're gonna get straight into the news. Okay, wait. Let me rephrase that. Before we get into the news, I need to tell you what games I've been playing. We do this segment every single week. I think it's episode 3 or show 3, where we just basically discuss what games I've been playing. You guys send in a few games you've been playing. We discuss, we have a chat, and that's that. But either way, what games have I been playing this week? Probably the most notable game is a game that's not even released yet. That's right, that's what level I'm on. I'm playing games that aren't even released. It is a subtle flex, but certainly a flex in the end. Either way, I've been playing FIFA 21 this week. I managed to get it on the 2nd of October. It came out on the 1st, but wait, it's not coming out until the 9th. But like, it was available to get at the 1st, but I didn't get it until the 2nd, because with EA Play, if you have it, you're able to play it like 9 days early, which is like an absolute game changer right there. Okay, and that's like one of the sole reasons I still pay for EA Play, simply because I get to play like all the FIFAs and Maddens early. Which is, you might think is a stupid reason, but it actually saves a lot of money. Because for a whole year, you can get EA Play for like €24, or maybe, I think would it be $21? I'm trying to do conversion in my head here, but yeah, it's very cheap. Where like with FIFA, you'd have to play like a full $60. With EA Play, you can get it for 24. So really, if you're just smart, it makes common sense. Okay, and I've had it for about a year, so I've paid like €24 for about 50 games. In my head, it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. Either way, I played FIFA 21. I will give a short analysis of it, but that'll be later in the show. Like, we'll cover some news first. I won't bore you. Okay, I know how you guys feel. Okay, I talk a lot, I bore a lot. It's just me. Either way, what other games have I been playing this week? Of course, I played 5M, okay? And for those who do not know what 5M is, it is basically GTA roleplay, where you get to be a cop instead of a criminal. But it's a little bit more complex than that. That's just, a simple-minded answer right there. I will be discussing, actually, 5M had like a major trouble with its server provider, which caused like literally hundreds of thousands of players to be without playing a game for about 3 hours. So obviously major catastrophe there, it's comparable to some of the Earth's like worst things ever. Like I'd compare it to actually some earthquakes, like the Napoli earthquake, that's how big of a catastrophe it was. And side note, do not take that seriously. But yeah, no, a lot of people were complaining about that, but it was only for like 3 hours or so. Obviously people are still having trouble now, but mostly that's just on people's part. But for now, 5M is still up and going, which is good news. Along with that, we also have other news on 5M, which I'll be covering later on the show. Well, fine, you convinced me. I'll cover it now, okay? You convinced me. Where if you have been like an OG of Mradio, we used to have our own 5M server called Fear City. And if you aren't in the Fear City Discord, it was announced earlier this week that will be reopening Fear City. Now, don't like instantly think that Fear City is going to be open within the next week, because it's not. We're planning on having it open again early January, for multiple reasons. But one of the biggest reasons is obviously Mradio is a very vast and complex company that has multiple things going on. Second reason, very very busy IRL, and third reason, what we're trying to accomplish with Fear City has never really been done before. So yeah, you know how we are, Mradio. We always try to like go really high. I don't know why I made a fart noise then, but I just did. Okay, just roll with it. Like, own it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just owning the fact that I just made everything awkward. But yeah, it is something that 5M's never seen before. It's going to be fantastic. and Nathan, who's in like kind of charge of like the whole project, and he's been doing a fantastic job. So if you haven't already, make sure to ping Nathan in the Discord. He just loves getting pinged. One of his favorite things. I'm only joking, Nathan. He knows I love him. Either way, besides that, obviously I played Football Manager. You guys know, like, Football Manager is basically my cocaine, in one sense. You know, Pablo Escobar had his cocaine, and people from Alabama have their guns, and I have my Football Manager. That's just kind of, you know, life's things. When God wrote the 11 Testaments of the Bible, I think that's what they're called. I really should know that. Covered it for like 6 years in school. But when he wrote that, he said, you know, Mark, my disciple Mark, he can have Football Manager 20, and you know that's what happened. And you all know that I just play it. And, you know, I lose track of time. Every like 10 minutes, I like to like stop the game and look at like what time it is, just to make sure that like 2 hours haven't went by when I should have been doing work. But yeah, that's. That really is that. That's the extent of games I've been playing this week. But I put a lot of time in FIFA because I was in that, and then 5M. I had a lot of work to do on there as well, with community stuff. And then obviously Football Manager was just because I'm an addict, really. Sad fact. But those have been the games I've been playing. If you guys have been playing any different games, which I'm sure you have, usually my list of games is a lot longer and more complex, but this week we kept it nice, short and simple, really. But yeah, if you guys have been playing any games, you want me to discuss them, my knowledge of games, it's very, very fast. I hope you heard me say vast, not fast. And I'd love to discuss some more games with you guys. Either way, make sure to send it in, ping us on Twitter, or send it into the Discord. We'd love to chat a little bit about what games you've been playing. Either way, we're going to get straight into the news, then we're going to discuss a little bit of FIFA 21, some of the new features, and one thing I'm definitely going to cover is career mode, because like, holy crap, that's some good shit right there. I'm waiting for something like, career mode is just weird, so like, it's basically, it's like on a way to Football Manager. It's not Football Manager. If it was, you know, I wouldn't be an addict to Football Manager, but it's getting there, you know. Maybe like a few more years of EA actually doing, you know, progress, it might get there. But unfortunately, we're not going to be spending time talking about that at the current moment, because we've got to talk about the Xbox Series X. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's based in the next generation of the Xbox consoles. And if you don't know what it is, I wouldn't know what to say to you. First, I'd ask about your living situation, because surely you'd be living under a rock if you haven't heard about the Xbox Series X. It's been very hyped up. And usually I try spread. I won't talk about the Xbox and the PlayStation in the same show, because that's like, it's unfair, really, to you guys, because that's just too much talking. But we last week we talked about the PlayStation. This week we're talking about the Xbox, and apparently word has it on the street, or apparently Phil Spencer has it on the street, that the Xbox Series X will allow you to uninstall parts of games. So hey, you don't like a certain part of a game, click a button and it's gone. Now in saying that, I don't want you to take this as if you don't like a certain mission in GTA 5, you can just uninstall it. Okay, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, like, say Call of Duty, you don't want to play zombies, you can uninstall zombies. So it's not like you can uninstall like a certain part of like a mission in a story mode or a side quest. You can't do that. But say if a game has multiplayer and story mode, well then you can uninstall like whichever one you don't want. So say you don't want to play Call of Duty multiplayer, but it's still, you know, taking up like 250 gigabytes on your PlayStation, you can uninstall that and simply just play campaign, which obviously PlayStation haven't announced that, so we won't sniff or anything with our breath. But yeah, that's a pretty cool feature. Along with that, Xbox Series X is like so many things that have been announced this week that you know make it a fantastic console. I really I think it's going to be a very, very tight war, because Xbox have come out with some fire stuff, PlayStation have come out with some fire stuff, But honestly, right now I'm kind of rooting for Xbox, which is kind of weird because I'm obviously a PlayStation 4 gamer. I also have an Xbox One, but like I'd call myself a PlayStation kid. You know, if some gang approached me on the street, you know, said, you know, you PlayStation kid, I'd say yeah. But honestly, the Xbox Series X really seems to be pulling some stuff out of the bag. It's really rare that you get a console that's kind of in console war that has two good consoles. Usually a console is, you know, not as good as the other one. But this one is really good. Xbox has some really good stuff. Like they have more like phone usage. So instead of like having to share a clip and, you know, have to save it to a certain place and then make sure it goes to your phone. Literally, if you have the Xbox app installed, when you take a clip, it'll automatically go to your phone, making it easier to share, you know, your clips and everything, which is extremely handy. Along with that, there's a lot more parental guides, so parents can see what their kids have been playing. So there's no hiding that you own GTA and you bought it off a friend for a tenner and you secretly play it. Okay, there's no hiding that. Also, along that, their interface is a hell of a lot smoother. You can run multiple games at once, so you can like come out one game, like literally have it on pause, like have it in rest mode, and just play another game. And then you have uninstalling parts of games. Really, right now, Xbox is looking like, you know, a really good console. And on the spec side of things, PlayStation, you know, is edging it a little bit. But I think when you're really deciding consoles, it's very important not to just look at specs and to look what suits you, especially with loading times. I think that's very important, having loading times, because I know a lot of people who can't like spend hours playing video games. They get like a certain time, like an hour and a half an hour, and like they don't want to spend that time having to load a game, which really, you know, if you're playing a lot of games these days, you will be spending a majority of your time loading. And so I think by cutting down loading times, you're really increasing people, because most people, they're not going to care about specs. They care about practical things like making sure your game loads in time, having easier access to, you know, download your clips and share them with your friends. Like, stuff like that, that's what people care about. Like, I cared about that when I was a PlayStation gamer, but now I'm a PC gamer. I'm all about, the specs only. That's just me, okay? I'm not saying that every person who likes specs talks like that, okay? Disclaimer. Either way, yeah, that's my opinion on Xbox, but we'll try veer away from that for now. But yeah, that's really that. Real quick, we're gonna go take a music break, but we'll be right back with some FIFA 21.
You don't own me. You don't own me.
Well, let's go. But I'm Gerald, and I can always have just what I want. She's the baddest, I would love to flaunt. Take her shopping, you know, Yves Saint Laurent. But nope, she ain't with it though. All because she got her own dough. Boss, if you don't know, she could never ever be a broke.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. Don't tell me what to do, and don't tell me what to say. Please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. You don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I never stay. Don't tell me what to do, and don't tell me what to say. Please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display.
Really though, honestly, I get bored of basic. She's the baddest, straight up vicious. Texting her and asking her if she's alone and sent some pictures. She said no. Well, goddamn. She said come over and see it for yourself. Never asking for your help. Independent woman, she ain't for the show. No, she's the one. Smoke with her until the stand up until we see the sun. The baddest ever. Swear she do it better than I ever seen it done. Yeah, never borrow, she ain't never alone. It's when she told me she ain't never, ever, ever, ever gonna be on.
I don't tell you what to say. I don't tell you what to do.
like me before though. Easy.
You don't own me.
It's so important to make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart-to-heart you. You sing to one smile that cheers you. One face that lights when it nears you. One girl, you're everything. To fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. Where's the real stuff in life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you found her, build your world around her. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. And you will be happy too.
I think that's quite a true song. You know, make someone happy and you will be happy. That is, it's too true, nearly. But I shall not delay you from hearing this any longer, because I know you're all so eager to hear me talk about the world's best game, which is obviously FIFA uncontended. But just to keep you listening, we'll, later on, okay. I don't want to get your hopes up, but the Cyberpunk map was released. It was leaked, okay, and we are here today, and it is available to see. It's like right in front of me right now, and yeah, that's that's that. But it's available to see, and you'll be able to see it. So we'll be talking about that after the next music break. But either way, let's get into FIFA. So I'm not going to go into a long-winded review about FIFA. It's different this year, you know. You gotta. It's different kits. that took me way longer than it should have. But either way, the point being is that FIFA actually does feel different this year. It isn't just different. Like FIFA 20, it didn't feel different to me. Okay, sure, there was a few new features, like defenders were actually smart this time. Yeah, you know, I still skilled them every day. But either way, this year FIFA actually does feel different, because this year there's actually something called competitor mode. So last year they released a new mode called Ultimate, which is basically like god tier FIFA playing, and like you play against your team, and really it didn't make much difference, because although like it was another level, I will admit that, like the teams attacked a little bit more, it wasn't a huge difference, because the teams, they kept a very simple passing, and you know, they're very easily to defend against. But this year with competitor mode, it's a lot different. It's like playing Ultimate Team. Like with Ultimate Team, you won't just meet people who will just like pass the ball around, you know, cross it in. They'll actually use skills. But with competitor mode, what the AI do is basically now they can actually defend. Like it's a lot harder to break through the defense, but also it's a lot harder to stop their attacks, because they actually use skills. Like they skill you, they use vision, they use smart passing, and they're easily able to get it into the box and score. So you have to be on your toes at all times. So imagine like you got Ultimate, which you got like the AI at their ultimate best, and then you put competitor mode on. It's extremely difficult. But what makes it like it's extremely difficult? Well, it's a fun extremely difficult. You're like, this is fun. At least with me, you know, I don't like losing, but it is extremely fun. It keeps you on your toes. Like you don't get bored after 3 matches, because you're constantly, on the back foot, and like when you get a chance, you're like, come on, this is my chance, this is my chance. When you cross it in, you're mad, but you want to go again because you feel like it's always your chance, and then you're always on the back foot as well. So the gameplay side of things has got increasingly, a lot better. They've added some new skills, some celebrations. Animations are still a bit fidgety, but that's because it's a pre-game. Like it's a pre-game, not a full build. So I'm sure they'll have that kind of fixed out by the time the full build comes along. But overall, very good improvements on gameplay, and stats are as important as ever. And I can't really go anywhere on that. I will say that I haven't tried out Ultimate Team yet, simply because ever since FIFA 19, I have never played online on FIFA. I stopped playing competitive mode, and I stopped playing competitively simply because basically Ultimate Team, it is gambling. It has actually been issued by a government that it is gambling, and EA have paid the price for including microtransactions in their game that basically make your game better. And unpacking players is technically gambling because you're spending money and you're hoping to get a good player. So I haven't played FIFA online since FIFA 19. The only competitive kind of thing I've faced is my friends locally. So yeah, that's my deal. So I haven't experienced Ultimate Team, and personally I don't really want to experience Ultimate Team because I've took a hard stance against something. And one thing us Irish people are known for is being stubborn, or at least my family are. And stubborn I am. Once I take a stand, I take a stand, and I shall fight it to the death. But yeah, I'm not going to be playing Ultimate Team for the foreseeable future. What I can tell you a lot about is, though, career mode. So we've covered the gameplay aspect, now we're going to cover career mode. Now, in recent years, ever since about FIFA 12, career mode has been very, very dry. It's a very, very basic thing where you sim a match, you buy a player for about 200 million, and then that player leads your club to glory, and you're unstoppable. So really, it's just, this is to get money, spend money, and although that is quite an important part of the game, getting good transfers and all that, really you can play like 40 million for a 76 rated player and win the league, which it's not good. It's all about ratings, really. In previous FIFAs since FIFA 12, and with the old FIFAs, like you could get sponsorships and kits and train players. You even had like a small youth academy. Now with FIFA 21, what they've done is they made it a lot more complex. It's no longer about ratings. They started this in FIFA 20, where they made a big emphasis on fitness and sharpness and confidence. And this year they've went extreme with it. This year it doesn't matter if you're an 86 rated player. If you do not have the right fitness, if you do not have the right sharpness, and if you do not have confidence, and if you are mad at the manager, you will not play well. It is as simple as that. With young players, if you've given them the confidence, if you've given them the fitness, and they've been sharp in training, they will succeed and they will do quite well in matches. So now it's much like Football Manager, where it's not just about a stat number anymore. It's not just about a number. It's about the whole season and how you train that player and how you treat that player. So you can't just buy a player and instantly expect them to do good. You also have an option to have very tight transfers. So you never have like 93 rated Messi going to a freaking mid-level Premier League club. You don't have like fantastic players going to shit clubs. You have it's very realistic, so there won't be as many transfers, and the transfers that do happen are realistic. Along with that, you have an option to do a club takeover, which is basically you can give 500 million to your club, so it's a financial takeover. Not very common in football, but they do happen. They happen with Man City and all that. And obviously you have modes and everything. You do training. You set training, and you can schedule your week, so you can have rest days, you can have recharging days, and you can have training days. And basically in training you can take control of them or sim them, and that's really that. And however you train them will reflect on their sharpness and fitness. The last thing I am going to talk about is in basic words, I just forgot what I was going to talk about. I was like, I'm going to talk about one more thing, and then I'm just going to was gonna leave the whole FIFA topic. I just remembered it. It was the sim. So what they last year, you'd sim a game and instantaneously it would give you the result. This year they have 3 different options for playing games. You can play the game in full, which is just normal FIFA. You can get an instant result, which usually will not go well for your team. Instant results never really go well. Or you can do an interactive sim, which basically means that you'll be put on a screen and you'll be able to see like where the ball is in the pitch. You'll be able to see all the stats like possession, key passes, shots on goal, shots on target, and you'll also be able to see your ratings of your players. But if a match is going badly for you, you can also have an option to jump in, which basically means that you can jump into the match and play around and jump back out, which is really cool. So it's an interactive sim, which I think is that's like just so cool to me, honestly, having that option there. And that's just kind of FIFA this year, which I think it's pretty cool, Either way, let's drop FIFA. Okay, I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10 this year. I like it. Okay, I think it's good, and I'm sure other people think it's good and they get it. Either way, let's move on to the highly anticipated Cyberpunk map leak. So basically, now I'm looking at the map right here. Okay, it's looking pretty decent. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6 main areas. Okay, from what I'm looking at, there's like 6 main areas that are named. Okay, there's like other smaller areas with names, but I physically can't read them because I have this open in Word and I can't zoom in like that. Oh wait, I actually can zoom in. I forgot I have like this. Okay, well that just makes things a hell of a lot easier. They're still not very clear on the thing, but either way, going from the very very north at a main tile, so you got the northern oil fields, which are I'm presuming are oil fields. I'd go with northern oil fields would be oil fields. With the first main kind of section, which is very very north, and it looks okay. It's called Watson. Now, it looks like a poorer area, if I'm being honest, especially if it's near the oil fields. I'd say this is like a little bit of a poorer area. It's on the outskirts. It's just going into the countryside. So I'd say this is a fairly poor area of Night City, which we know they have those like gang areas. And next thing you have going south of that is right next to a little bit of an ocean. Is they actually have it called the Pacific Ocean, so obviously that gives us a geographical kind of idea of where it is. You have the city center, which is full of huge buildings, and you can kind of get an idea of that's where all the rich corporations are. And just below that, on the same little section, is Haywood, which is probably where all the people live, because obviously you can't live in the city center. It's mostly where people work. But Haywood, that is probably where all the people who work in the city center live. And now going very south of that, going on to a different territory now, is Pacifica, which is basically just what looks to be a huge farm out in the countryside. There's farming fields here, and there's something that looks like a stadium, but might be a huge pothole. We're unclear about that. And now going to the very, very right is Santo Domingo, and it has like kind of a mix of two things. To the left of it, it's just northeast of Pacifica, and it sort of has kind of a city area that looks like not like a very rich part, but more like an industrial area, and then you kind of have countryside to the southeast. Now just going north of Santo Domingo, which is straight north east of the city center, is Westbrook, which is just, it's pure country really. It does look like pure country. There's a hill there and everything. And that is basically the map. If you want to see that, you can see it on, I believe I got that picture off, was it Gaming Radar? Yeah, I got it off Gaming Radar. They're always reliable guys, but it was PC Gaming News. It was PC Gaming News. I always get the two mixed up, PC Gaming News and Gaming Radar. But PC Gaming News, if you guys want to see that article, make sure to look them up, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. It's not that far down the list. Either way, also along with that news is The Witcher 3 on Netflix. Witcher on Netflix. Season 3 is coming, most likely. It's not definite right now, but it is looking most likely that a season 3. And if Netflix isn't your sort of thing, there also is Payday. You guys might be familiar with Payday 2, which is an extremely popular game amongst definitely my friends. Payday 3 is in the works, and it will use Unreal Engine. So if you are looking for the next big heist game, don't worry, Payday 3 is definitely in the works. The unfortunate thing is that you are going to have to use a whole pay week's wage to probably get it. It's probably going to be 60 euro, depending what country you live in. You know, some countries have higher weekly wages than others, you know. Just thought that'd be a funny joke. And now going on to Ubisoft, always great to hear them. Never heard a bad thing about Ubisoft. Unfortunately, this is a bad thing. 25% of Ubisoft employees have witnessed or experienced workplace misconduct. I don't know if they've employed just people who've been on shit game development studios, or if they simply just don't know how to treat workers properly, which most actually game studios don't. Most game studios actually do work their employees way too hard and have a workplace misconduct. But for your company to come out and over 25%, like a quarter of your company's employees have witnessed or experienced it, and I'm sure there's more, only they haven't said it, and that's quite a big number, to be honest. And now going on a little bit of brighter news is Fall Guys Season 2 is starting next week. So if you are interested in Fall Guys, make sure to get onto it before next week, because they will be having loads of things. They have new XP and kind of point system coming in, but they'll also have new stuff for you to kind of, you know, mess around with. And some of you, most of you probably, this isn't going to mean much for you, but there was a Fallout 4 mod called Sim Settlements, which is basically, you know, instead of building your settlement from materials, it would automatically fix up your settlement and put cellars in there, basically making your own version of Diamond City in Fallout 4. But basically, it is getting a second version for Fallout 4. But this time, it's going to have its own storyline, it's going to have its own quests, and it's going to have voiced characters by voice actors. So this time, they're going all out on this mod. And Sanctuary is going to be like a bigger version of Diamond City than Diamond City is a version of itself. So if you do still play Fallout 4, well, then you can look forward to that mod. I'll be surprised if it's free, actually. Like, I'd be charging for that mod if if I'm being honest. And now the final bit of news before we go for another music break is Take-Two, who own 2K. So Take-Two Interactive, who also own Rockstar, but they also own 2K, who is the company that makes WWE 2K, the franchise, are facing legal trouble over Randy Orton's tattoos. So Randy Orton is a wrestler in the WWE, and they're facing legal trouble over his tattoos, which is that's quite odd, actually. Facing legal trouble over a wrestler's tattoos, and obviously a franchise that you've got the rights to. But either way, that's going to be it for news for this week. We are going to go for a music break right now. But if you haven't already, make sure to follow Mradio on all the Mradio social medias, Twitter and Instagram at the only Mradio, and obviously, Twitch and YouTube at Mradio. Either way, we're going to go for a music break, and right after we come back, we'll be talking about 5M and the trouble it has experienced this week.
Tell me what you say now. Tell me now what you say now. Tell me what you say now. Tell me now what you say. Tell me what you say now. Tell me now what you say now. Tell me what you say now. Tell me now what you say. A little bit louder, take it a little bit further. Tell me when it go, and I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Hey, tell me I need a doctor. Tell me I need a fix, but I don't think they can help me. Baby, I'm way too sick. They say they call the po-po. Got them hooked on my cocoa. I'm losing all control. They can't for my lady. They say I need a shrink. Help me out with my mind. But every time I get about that chair, I go right back every time. Like, tell me what you say. Like, tell me now what you say. Like, tell me what you say. Like, tell me now what you say. A little bit louder, take it a little bit farther. Tell me when I go, and I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Hey, get up out of your seat, shake. Let's slide out. Grab your girl and then dip. Let's ride out. Get up out of your seat, shake. Let's slide out. Grab your girl and then dip. Let's ride. A little bit louder, take it a little bit farther. Tell me when I go, and I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Yeah, I'ma go harder. Hey.
That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life.
That's life.
And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just ain't gonna buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
That's life. And I can't deny it. Many times I thought of cutting out, but my heart won't buy it. But if there's nothing shaking come this here July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die.
Surely I can't be the one that just loves those types of songs. That's Life by Frank Sinatra. And obviously that's the remastered 2008 version, but you just have to love it. Honestly, you just have to. I would happily listen to that song every day. Maybe not 24/7, because that's bad for the ears. But I would listen to it every day. But either way, I promise we'd talk about 5M this episode, and before it ends, we gotta talk about 5M, okay? Because I'm a man of my word. So this week 5M had trouble with Cloudflare, which is basically it's server provider, the thing they run their servers off, and yeah, they just dropped them this week. So that was interesting, and the world of 5M just went into a meltdown. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's such a big deal, oh, we're all gonna die. And of course no one died, because 3 hours later, you know, everything was fine. But the interesting thing that I really found about this is people say that you know, 5M, it's not that big, you know, GTA is the big one. The Twitch viewer count of GTA, like, you know, how many people were viewing GTA, dropped massively because all the 5M streamers had to stop streaming because, like, you know, they had nothing to stream anymore. They couldn't RP. And the viewer count dropped massively. It dropped, like, it was at 300,000, it dropped like 100,000. It dropped like so massively. So it just kind of shows that 5M is like a big part of the GTA community. But yeah, that's all we're going to talk about there. Next, going on to the Monster Hunter. If you haven't heard of that, you're quite the lucky person, because it has been released as the hardest game. Now, you know, Dark Souls 3, but it has been released as one of the hardest games, you know, out there, which I can perfectly understand. Like, I've played Monster Hunter a few times, and holy shit, that shit was hard. Like, you know, and it's not an easy game to conquer. It's not an easy game to become even average at. You know, you have to put a lot of hours into it to even be halfway good. It's not just a game you can pick up and play. But yeah, that's it. It is released as one of the hardest games out there. So if you are looking for a challenge, make sure, you know, pick up Monster Hunter at Game Store. You probably will end up regretting it, but that's just my opinion. Either way, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. It is a little bit shorter than the norm, but you know, some weeks there's news, some weeks there's not. What can you do? I've had a fantastic time on episode 8 of or show 8 of the Godmode Monday talk show with me, Mr. San Andreas, or you can just call me Mark, whichever comes to you easier. I honestly, I do not mind either way. But yeah, we've had a fantastic time on the radio show here, guys. I hope you have as well, because it's important that you guys had a fantastic time. If you have enjoyed today's show and you want to hear some more stuff by Mradio, you can check us out on the YouTube channel, Mradio, and you can look at all our shows and see all the other shows we've been doing. We've a couple of shows going at the point. And if you're not interested in shows and you just want to look at some good entertainment, we've also been doing some recently GTA Machinima, which is basically just like, you know, short animated films in GTA, and we've done a few of those, so make sure to check that out and you know, stay subscribed with notifications on to watch them a bit further. But if that's not your taste and you just want to ping us a few times to annoy us, then Twitter or Instagram is your place at the Only M Radio. And if you want to pop in on us live or doing something, we're over on Twitch as well at the M Radio. And if that doesn't pick your fancy, you can come join us on our Discord. Either way, I'm gonna love you and leave you with 2 more songs called Boasty, Wiley and Stefflon Don and Sean Paul and Idris Elba, and we're going to Break My Stride. It'll be the last song we play. Once again, have a fantastic day, ladies and gentlemen, and I've been Mr. San Andreas.
Bossy, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy, fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy.
Hey yo, Idris, tell them what they're gonna take the piss. When step out, do that turn up in a diss. Body comfortable and me physically fit. I'm a brown and sweet, just like the chocolate. Yo, Wiley, them ones sound like me. Other than a pretty with the upper body. Shut down in the city with me bad girl pussy. Every man want piece of me. The back of them a pop and them a bun weed. Man want wine behind me have to move kind dusty. I'm looking for a brother who got hella pound. 079, baby, I'm a hammer, did you stop?
Bossy, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy, fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy.
Hey yo, Sean.
Hey, so when me spitty body with it, maybe gala get with it. Spitty body with it, maybe gala get. When me tippy body with it, maybe gala get with it. Wind up your body and spin it. Girl, when you bubble, that's a trouble. Why you give me this something now? Turn it around and bring it. You're pressing it back on and
London and mid on edges. Is it?
Bossy, bossy.
I came to rap it up, do my thing. Sabi put me on the gram and a remix thing. Pull tight Wiley with the Pacino flow. Godfather part 2, call me De Niro. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. Disrespect, man, get a slap on the chin. Man a king in a top, bout Larry, man a big DJ, Ox, Megan and Harry. Boss, yeah, man a boss, yeah. I make a gal melt like a toasty. I'll be this way someday, and I write for myself, no ghosting.
He's a boy got money in a bank on, ready for roll and blaze up this tank on. Got the girls from Jamwan to Hong Kong, the girl them champion in it.
Bossy, bossy. Godfather, man a OG. Man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy. I fly around the world cause I'm bossy. Bossy, bossy. Godfather, man a OG. Man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy. I fly around the world cause I'm bossy.
Last night I had the strangest dream. I sailed away to China in a little rowboat to find you, and you said you had to get your laundry clean. Didn't want no one to hold you. What does that mean? And you said, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. You're on a roll and now you pray it lasts. The road behind was rocky, but now you're feeling cocky. You look at me and you see your past. Is that the reason why you're running so fast? And she said, ain't nothing gonna break on my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Never let another girl like you work me over. Never let another girl like you drag me under. If I meet another girl like you, I will tell her. Never want another girl